The best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we want to learn how to search and modify a list of data. As always, this sample file is available to download via the link provided below in the description. You can download it, follow along, or try it on your own and check your answer when you get done. All right, so let's get started. We've got a sample list that's already created for us, and what we want to do is check a user's value that they enter, see if that value is in the list. If it is, we're going to remove it, and if it's not, then we are going to add it. So let's see how we're going to do that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is add a new number, or a number to test, if you would. So I'm just going to call it num. Now, I'm only taking integers, so I have int. Do I need to specify that? Maybe, maybe not. We're not going to worry about that just yet. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put an if statement in here. So if num in numbers. This is going to check to see if the value that was just entered by the user is inside of our list. It's a very easy command to use. It's very similar to checking if a character or substring is in a string. That's the nice thing about Python. It uses those same values and those same types of commands over and over again, regardless of how we're using them. So if we find num inside of numbers, I'm going to say numbers dot remove, and then I'm going to specify num. You might ask, why didn't I just go ahead and remove it naturally? Well, if that value is not found, it's going to generate a value error. And we can see this when we hover over that remove function. So we don't want to do this necessarily because it will generate an error. So we don't want to call remove if we don't know for sure that that value is inside of our list. Now, what else can we do? Well, we might want to specify with a little print statement, we just removed num. Else, now this means that we did not find that num inside of our numbers list, so we want to add it. So I'm going to say numbers dot append and num. This makes it really, really easy for us. Let's go ahead and print out a little message to let us know that we added that value. We're going to go run it. It's going to ask us for a value. I say 33. Notice it says we just removed 33. Okay. If I look at my list, there is a 33. Let's run this again. 99. Added 99 to the list. Now, unfortunately, we're not seeing our list, so we can't see these values. So how do we solve that? Well, I'm going to come after my if-else blocks. I'm just going to simply say print numbers. And now I can run this one more time. 45. Added 45 to the list, and you notice it's at the end. Okay, that's where append always puts something. Now, if we want to modify this a number of times, that becomes an easy option as well. We're going to say while num is not equal to 0, indent all that code that we wrote before. Now this is going to go through. Then we're going to need to get a new number from our user. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to give a little hint, type 0 to exit. And if I go run this now, 55. We just removed 55. You notice it's not in my list. 31. Added 31. You notice it's at the end of my list. 76. Added 76. 32, removes 32, and I can see that. I can see my list growing and shrinking very easily. Type 0, and I exit out. So very easy to make that simple little modification as well. And that's how we can search on a list, remove items from a list, add items to a list. Do these have to be numbers? Of course not. They can be text, they can be other data objects, they can be other lists even. This was just showing you something really simple. And that's a good way to get started with programming in Python, is start simple and build your complexity from there. If you want to keep on learning how to get better at programming with Python and other languages, please subscribe and follow for more.